coffee, cold notes scattered wide, connecting things that don't collide. Every corner holds a sign. In my head the dots align, but they just laugh. Oh, when I speak they turn away. Oh, guess I'll play another day. I'm the
Can you hear me? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. How does it sound? A little better? I have no idea. Oh, thank you, Unindicted. Welcome. Sorry about that. I had unplugged my microphone like a dummy because like I only have 4 USB slots, and for some bizarre reason, I use every one of them, and I have to swap things out. I had bought one of those adapters, but it's a USB-C, and apparently I don't have a USB-C. It's like a VGA, so go figure. Excuse me, I'm rambling. Yeah, you have a wrench, Unindicted. I thought I gave you one last time. I'm not sure. It might not have gone through or whatever. Probably messed that up. Hi, Christy. Nice to see you. Hi, Louise. Thank you so much for letting me know so quickly that there's no sound. So I will start over. Probably edit my dumb butt out. So here I am. Hi. Happy Saturday. I hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. Been kind of chill over here. My youngest is spending the night over at his friend's house. So I get to like really relax and have a little fun, if you know what I mean. Oh. So yeah, I'm going to get right to it since I kind of wasted some time here with my technical malfunction. So today, I thought it would be good to go over the 4 versus 3 girl debacle, because like there's several groups of girls, right, that go to the trails on February 13th, 2017. And even the group of 4 girls is confusing. So I put together something, change my view here. Maybe this is better. Okay. So 3 versus 4. And what I'm going to start with is what has been called the basketball girls. So I believe, and a lot of other people believe, that there was, a group of 3 girls, and it's a fact because there's screenshot of some, I believe it's, I could get this wrong, but I believe it was Madison, who had text or communicated through social media, hey, we were here an hour before the Libby and Abby got to the trails. So, and I'm thinking really it's around 12 o'clock, right? So this is the group of 3 girls, and what I was able to find, I think a lot of us do know, is that they left the trails and they went to City Park. Okay. And if you look right where I have left around 12 o'clock, in the 2 boxes, right? That is really the distance from the Freedom Bridge to City Park. And there is a trail that goes to City Park. And I believe it's not a very long walk. It's also by the creek. I don't know exactly. I've heard 20 minutes. I've heard under than 20 minutes, but let's just go with 20 minutes. So they would have been at, City Park around 12:20. I don't know how long they were at the trails that day. And what's concerning about the group of 3 girls, and I'm not saying they were doing anything wrong, right? They were enjoying the day off at school or from school, is that according to the leaked thumb drive, this is the basis on where I'm, this is how I'm deriving at this conclusion. There is no interview from investigators on record. And actually, not only did I look at the Brandon Woodhouse thumb drive screenshot, I also looked at the what was turned over in discovery, and I did not see their names mentioned in that document. And I think it was the response to the motion to correct error where that discovery, or it could have been like the motion in limine. I'm not sure which document, but there was an attachment. It was from Nicholas McClellan, who provided, what was on the different drives and documents that were handed over to the defense. So, and I control-F'd it and I spot checked it, just make sure there wasn't another underlining issue. I did not see their names whatsoever. So I'm going to skip now from them to another group of 3 girls. Okay. I don't know much about this. So this is all Reddit research and things that I was able to put together. So this is unconfirmed, but apparently there was also another group of 3 girls, and they're called the Gamer Girls. I don't know if they were like playing Pokemon or some other, or maybe geocache or what. So I just put them like little gaming chairs here. I'm not going to give the last names. One of these girls was also, I think, at the trails later that day. I think she might be one of the scooter people. But based on what I put together, Paige, Mackenzie, and Maya. It's another group of 3 girls. I don't know what time they were at the bridge, but interesting enough, they were mentioned in the thumb drive, the Brandon Woodhouse screenshots, and I believe they're also mentioned in the discovery dump, the itemized list here. So if 12 o'clock, right, if that, so going back to the other group of 3 girls, right, who left around 12, and that did not prompt an interview with investigators. And again, I'm just going off a base of, what we have. We don't have everything right now, but if they were not in that time window, right? Apparently the Gamer Girls were. I don't know what the time window is. I'm thinking it was later than 12, obviously, because they did, what time did it was alleged that Richard Allen arrived, what was it, 12:30, 12:27, something like that. So this group was interviewed in 2017. So I don't know at what capacity. It could have been, hey, they talked to the girls earlier that day, but it's always, like I said, been a rumor that this group of 3 girls were at the trails at some point within the scope, the timeline scope. So, so we got 2 groups of 3 girls, at least one for sure, but probably 2. And then we have here, which I call the witnesses. I couldn't think of what icon to use, so I just used cameras. I know not all of them had cameras that day. So before I go more into detail on this group, I'm going to check in with the chat just real quick so I don't get too far behind. Let's see. Hi, Charles. Hey, Mustang. Good to see you. Uh-oh. What am I looking at, Luis? Oh. Hope everyone's behaving. Yes, I know who you are. So, okay. Moving on. So we have Brienne, right? We have Rayleigh, and we have Rayleigh's 2 sisters, right? So Isabel is one of her, I think Isabel was at her dad's house with her, and they went to pick up Anna, which is her half sister, at her mother's house. So Rayleigh started her journey from her dad's house around 11:30. She was, based on her testimony, she was with Isabel. I believe it was. I hope I'm not mixing these up, but I'm pretty sure she was with Isabel, and then she went to go pick up her other sister, Anna, at her mother's house, which all is in that area. So that's where they started. According to Rayleigh, they left her dad's house around 11:30, and she stated she probably got to the bridge around 12 o'clock. Okay. And also she had stated that she's seen another person walking their dog. And this is what I know I keep on talking about this, and I'm sorry, but I'm really into how people say things and what they don't say. So she's seen another person walking their dog when I myself was walking towards Freedom Bridge or High Bridge. I'm sorry. So I know she was probably nervous. I'm just assuming here, but I just zoned in on that because it seems like she was by herself based on this statement. And she did state that she had to be home at 2:30 because her sister was with her, and I believe her sister had practice or something, or the sister had to be home at 2:30. And then relating to Bridge Guy, she says, and this is another thing where I'm zoned in on, they, right? To me, they speaks to more than one person. Okay. So they, being the girls, didn't notice him particularly, so they didn't have a lot to say in response. So that's her talking. I guess this is after she said hi to Bridge Guy, and he didn't really say anything back. And um, the other girls didn't notice him. So I'm going to keep on going, but I'm going to talk a little bit more of this when I talk about Brienne, right? Um, and Rayleigh says that they were overdressed for the weather, in my opinion. They were wearing darker clothes. They had their face covered and a hood on with a hat also. Okay. And then she says she sees a man at 2:15. So she had to be home at 2:30, right? She circles the area she sees this man. It's an exhibit in the court transcript. So she sees a man at 2:15. And she got to Bree's house at 2:20. Isn't that interesting? Like, I know a lot of people like kind of dismiss the 2:15 and they think, they left earlier than that, but like this timeline is all working out because Bree, when she testifies, or Brienne, excuse me, when she testifies, she says, she basically lives right close to the bridge. So 5 minutes, right? That would go in with the timeline. So she was interviewed on February 15th, 2017, and she says he was wearing all black, black jeans, black hoodie, black boots, black mask, hat, and he was medium built in his 20s or 30s. And a lot of this comes out during the defense's cross examination, where they asked her to look at this interview because what she was saying was conflicting to the what she stated in the interview on February 15th, 2017. Okay, so then Brienne, right? So this is kind of mind-blowing to me in a way because I don't see her an interview prior to August of 2020. I might have missed something. So please, like, I know we have a lot of people that in this chat here that has really looked into this case. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But August 27th to 2020, what was going on during that time? Why all of a sudden are they interviewing her in 2020? And, supposedly she went to the station with Kelsey that, on February 13th. That was my understanding. I'm thinking those interviews may have been the ones that were lost. But, even rightfully so, you got, February 13th, 2017. There's nothing really I see in between. Which kind of like goes back to I think what a lot of us have been saying. What were they doing? And why didn't they notice that these interviews were like erased and deleted? Anyhow, so Brienne, she says, I went with Rayleigh and Anna. Doesn't say anything about Isabel. That to me was that just stood out to me. Why is Isabel being left out of the equation? And we can go ahead after this and I'm going to just pull up the PCA because the PCA is written in a confusing manner where, there's 4 girls, but 3 girls say one thing, so we'll look through that too. So she takes a photo of Freedom Bridge at 2:25, right? So that's almost a half an hour after Rayleigh said that they got there, right? I mean, when you got a tight timeline like this, a half an hour or 25 minutes is a long time. That's a big gap, in my opinion. So she takes photos of the Monon High Bridge at 12:43, right? So that is what, a 19 minutes. So it's like 19 minutes, right, to the bridge from Freda Bridge, which is that's like a good baseline, right? Okay, moving on. She says there were a few people, but not at the High Bridge. But as we were walking, the path, we saw some people. So she is recognizing there's other people there. And then further in her testimony, she saw a few people on her way back. She doesn't say anything like these are the same people we saw when we got there. Third time. Well, I think I kind of further expand. I think she confirms again. Yes, we saw maybe one or two people on our way out. Does not mention going to the creek. Really? Says they went to the creek, all four of them, and took pictures. Nothing about the creek. Okay. He had something on, so this is how she's describing Bridge Guy. He had something on his head because I wasn't able to see his hair. And she described him as muscular, in his 30s. And then we have Isabel, who was interviewed probably with Rayleigh. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, that 15th, right? I don't see much mention about her other than like how McClelland or Tove Leslie, grouped the girls all together. And I really think there's a purpose. There's a reason why statements do come across like they're all consistent. Like all four, all three of them or all four of them said that almost, like the same thing. There's really not a lot of breakout of what each person says other than he's kind of creepy and, somebody said hi to him, but she was interviewed, but Anna, who is like Rayleigh's half sister, same age as Isabel. Maybe they're like, I kind of like 9 months. I don't know. She said like she was around either 12 or 13. I don't see anything on Anna. Don't see her really mention other than Rayleigh acknowledging her, and Brienne does not. So I'm just curious, like, why these two did not testify, because I believe one of them mentions a light jacket. Check in with the chat here. See if anyone has any perspective. Yeah. I didn't find out about the gamer girls until like maybe 6 months ago. I had no idea that they existed. Maybe they don't. Maybe somebody's just bullshitting me. I don't know. But I did see, some discussion on Reddit about them. Hi, Zeke. How are you doing? So Ronald from Deltona says, why wasn't Brienne interviewed into 2020? I think that was an older comment. But just in case you joined a little bit later, my understanding she was talked to with Kelsey because they both went to the station that evening. or afternoon. I'm not sure if that was one of the deleted interviews, but even so, why not anything from 2017 to 2020? And I think too, the 2020 interview it stood out to me because it was like she was interviewed at a different like a location that I wasn't familiar with. It wasn't at like Unified Command. Um, I don't want to say Homeland Security because that's not right. But or maybe the trying to think here, U.S. Marshal, something like she was like it just stood out like she was interviewed at a separate location that I didn't see anyone else interviewed at. So what was going on in 2020? Anyone have any ideas? Like what 2019 was the presser, right? Where the second sketch came out. I'm trying to think about 2020. Hey, Real Dragon. Nice to see you. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't think of anything on the top of my head, but I'm probably missing something like really big and feel like an idiot later. Like duh. When was Keegan Klein? Trying to remember. All these years like run into each other. So August of 2020. All right, maybe it will hit me. So it was Keegan Klein, right, Charles? So that's interesting, right? So what I did here, I know it's probably really hard to see. Let me see if I can make this bigger. That did not make it bigger. That's me. Okay, I'm going to try to read this. Sorry, I'll read it for you. So what I did is I took the probable cause affidavit. I took the affidavit for the search warrant, and then I put in there like some of the notes from this slide that I like some key points from this slide into Chat GPT. And I wanted to look at consistencies and discrepancies between these three things, right? So this is what Chat GPT returned after I had to like tell it to do something else. So it was wrong at some point. I had to keep on guiding it. All right, so affidavit for search warrant for Brianne Wilbur. She was listed as one of the 3 juveniles. Okay. She described a man in all black, hoodie, jeans, boots, head down, possibly covering his face. In the probable cause, it does align, right? So the probable cause affidavit does say all black, hands in pocket, did not get a good, he did not greet her back, or somebody didn't get greeted back. So in trial, here's what I was saying before. I went with Rayleigh and Anna. The photos at the Freedom Bridge and then the High Bridge, right? We saw a few people, maybe 1 or 2 more on the way out. So that's what Brianna's saying. Something on his head, couldn't see his hair. And then in the 2020 interview, this is where there's an inconsistency. So according to Chat GPT, muscular in his 30s in the 2020 interview, which the comparisons differ. So muscular, older was kind of like later, I guess. This is what ChatGPT is telling me. Rayleigh, so moving on to her, in the search warrant, I guess there's a typo in the search warrant. I think that's been discussed, many times. I do recall this. It said Rayleigh Wilbur. That's what was really confusing ChatGPT. So she's said the man wore blue jacket, blue jeans, said hi. He just glared. In the probable cause affidavit, man was kind of creepy, wearing blue jeans and a really light blue jacket. In trial, like just how I covered, left dad's house at 11:30, at the bridge at 12, saw a dog walker, had to be home at 2:30, saw a man at 2:15, arrived at Brienne's at 2:20. The man was overdressed, dark clothes, face covered, hood and hat. In the in the February 15, 2017 interview, all black, right? Medium build, 20s and 30s. Like she estimated him to be between his 20s and 30s. So the inconsistency is the jacket flipped from light blue to black. So hair visible in PCA versus hidden at trial. Anna, this is what it's returning to me on this. She was not specifically named in the search warrant for affidavit. Probable cause, not included in the 3 juveniles. And I already covered Brienne saying she went with Rayleigh and Anna. And then Isabel, she is included as one of the 3 juveniles. Described a duck canvas windbreaker jacket, hood up, baggy jeans. The probable cause affidavit, blue, black windbreaker with collar, hood, baggy jeans, trial, not mentioned. So she did not testify. So Isabel and Anna spat, and like they would have been adults at the time of the trial. So I don't know. I mean, maybe like they really didn't see him, but it sounded like they did. Or maybe they were recounting somebody else that was on the trail. And so here's what I'm thinking. And so we have here, like I said, like I started with, we have the 3 girls, right? So if we take Richard Allen as what he said in the interview, because personally, me, I don't really trust what Dan Doolin wrote down, because I don't know, like there was stuff wrong on it to begin with. Like, what was that what Richard Allen said when he called in? Did he just pretty much copy what was taken from the intake phone call? I don't know. But if Richard Allen, so let's just walk through this. So if he arrived when he said he did in the interview, right? He could have seen these 3 girls. My issue though too is with that though, just playing devil's advocate, is I don't know really what time they left, right? And I don't know what they said in their, interview. So it's just unknown. You know what I mean? It's possible, right? But I think also if we go to the witnesses here, it looks like there's a lot of inconsistencies, and there's other people at the trail, and it sounds like Rayleigh at some point was like separated from the group because of the way her, how she's wording certain things. And um I don't know what I'm thinking. Why didn't Nick McClellan call Isabel or Anna? It could, I'm just saying, like, it could be, right? Like, they could have broken up, but there was other people on the trail as well. So there could be like another group of 3 girls. I don't know. There was a lot of people at the trail. So even when we look at it from the group of 4, could it be, a group of 3? We don't know also, like, did these 4 girls stay together the entire time? I don't know. But I think there's a big discrepancy between the times here. I think Rayleigh's story seems to be more lining up from a time perspective. What also sticks out to me with Brienne is how when she posts that picture of the bridge, she says back, like she's re-arriving to the bridge. You know what I'm saying? So if Rayleigh left her dad's house at 11:30 and she got to the bridge around 12, and how long of a walk did I say? 19 minutes, right? So that let's just say 12:20, right? And walking back another 20 minutes, like that could work, like returning back to the bridge. I don't know, what do you guys think? Hey, HCC or 833. Hey, Big Fish. I'm way behind. I think the US Marshals had a big involvement in this case, actually, because I think that might have been more on post Richard Allen's arrest, and maybe some components of the Keegan Klein. Um, Not sure. I mean, we also had the Department of Homeland Security involved as well. Like several times, I think, actually. Because I remember there was some discussion about somebody contacting the Department of Homeland Security to put a tip in or get involved. I don't know if it was like the biker gang, or I don't know exactly why. And then also post Richard Allen arrests, they were, really involved in, I think, the transport. I know when I went to trial that one day, there was U.S. Marshals standing all around them, and then they were also at the arrest press conference, right? The presser. That's a good question. It was like too many chefs in the kitchen. It's like, so HCC says what strikes me is where Riley testified the bench photo was taken. Yeah, so there's HCC. Is there 2 benches? So, like, if you're coming from Freedom Bridge, I believe there's 2 benches on the left. Like, one of them I call the center bench, and then I call the other one the east bench. And then there's one at the 505, right? I don't think there's 3 benches. Okay, so then that would have been the the east bench. Hmm. Okay, so it's 10 minutes. So even more. Like, yeah, I mean, they could have went to the bridge, walked back, and got a message, hey, I'm coming to, the bridge, and walked, you know, let me see. Okay, so they could have went from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge, back to the Freedom Bridge, back to the Monon High. I mean, that area is there's not a lot of places to go. It's like a straight walk, right? Or it's down the 505, or you're crossing the bridge and then it's done, right? So, and that's kind of like why Betsy's Blair exercise routine is kind of weird, because she's just kind of doing like this big cross the whole time, She's going back and forth, going to the, what is it? The trail connector, going down the 505, coming back, and it's just there's not a lot of places to walk. So I can totally see girls walking back and forth, back and forth. And then the fact that she, again, like Rayleigh gets to Bree's house at 2:20. But what bothers me is the Betsy Blair seeing girls on the, what is it called? It's another bridge. The rail bridge, I think it's called. So let's pull this up. Okay, so this one is the affidavit for search warrant, right, which comes before the the PCA probable cause. I mean, they're kind of both probable cause, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the first set, and this is where they have the names of the witnesses. Okay, so let me see where I should start here. Okay. Through the investigation, there were interviews done with 3 of the 4 girls that were on the trails that day. The girls observed. So see how he's lumping it together? The girls, plural, observed a male on the trails on February 13, 2017. Well, how many men were there? There was other people walking. I mean, there was actually more than one male, if you think about it, because got the dog walker in there, right? So anyway, the girls observed a male on the trails on February 13, 2017, that matched the description of the male. I'm inserting grammar in here, in the video recorded by Liberty German. The 3 girls, identified as Rayleigh, Brienne, and Anna, right, encountered the male near a bench east of the Freedom Bridge. Okay, that's not very descriptive, because there's 3 benches at least east of the Freedom Bridge. But anyway, the girls were on the trail and were walking towards the Freedom Bridge to go home. The male they encountered was walking from the Freedom Bridge towards the Monon High Bridge. One of the 3 girls, let me remove this. Okay, identified as Anna Spath, described the male as an older man walking on the trails as they were leaving, as she described him as kind of creepy. In a text from Anna to what is that? Kyla? I can't, it's so small here. Kyla, I think. Anne described the man wearing light blue jeans, a really light blue jacket, as his hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he did not really show his face. Investigator Steve Mullen and Brent Ingram interviewed Anna, and she described the male as wearing a blue jacket and light blue jeans that were faded. Okay. The jacket was a canvas duck type jacket. Rayleigh Voorhees was also in the group of 4 girls. Okay. See what I'm saying here? Let's go back because I feel like they're gaslighting us here. And I'm sure this has been covered many times, but I think like sometimes we just need to go back to like how this all started, right? One of the 3 girls identified as Anna Spath described the male as an older man walking on the trail as they were leaving and described him kind of creepy. So the 4th girl, right, based on this, is Isabel, right? And look who Brienne leaves out. She says she was with Rayleigh and Anna. Let me go back. And I don't know what this means. I'm like, there's no objective. I'm just trying to understand why I feel like I said before, when things are, written in a certain way, they're done this like this is on purpose. Like attorneys know how to write things in a certain type of way where it's not necessarily, a willful lie, right? Because he mentions the 4 girls earlier, but it's deceptive, in my opinion. So, okay, I'm going to move on. An interview was conducted in 2020 of Bree Wilbur. She was able to show investigators a picture that she took from her phone of the Monon High Bridge with a timestamp of 12:43. Right? This is the picture where she says, back or back again. I could pull it up, but I mean, it's clearly like I'm here again, right? And she even testified. So she testified that she meant back because she goes there often, which is possible. But like, there's a 30-minute that are uncounted for, and apparently Brienne doesn't mention a creek, so I have no idea what's going on at this time, but it's just really confusing. Okay, I'm moving on. I'll try to get through this without without going on a tangent here. Okay, okay. Bree showed investigators another picture she took at the bench just east of the Freedom Bridge. So just east to me is like the first bench, because he doesn't say here by the connector the Mears parking area, or the what is it? The connect. Yeah, I think it's the connector trail. So that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to pick back up. Bree stated after she took the picture at the bench, they started walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. Bree stated that when they walked past the man who matched the description of the individual in the picture, Detective Liggett believes, like, I don't care what he believes, but whatever. But Detective Liggett believes the picture that she's referencing to is the picture law enforcement release of the man on the bridge taken from the video Liberty captured on her cell phone on the day of the murders. Bree described the man as wearing a blue or black windbreaker jacket. She stated the man had a collar. Sorry, this is so small. And he had his hood up from the clothing. And let me blow this up. Sorry. Okay. Bree described the man as wearing a blue or black windbreaker jacket. She stated the jacket had a collar and He had his hood up from the clothing underneath the jacket. Bree advised he was wearing baggy jeans and was taller than her. She stated her head came up approximately to his shoulders. Bree told us Rayleigh said hi to the man and he said nothing back. Why did Bree hear this? If they're all together. Okay. Okay. Bree told us Rayleigh said hi. The man said nothing back. Bree described the man as walking with a purpose, like he knew where he was going. Bree also stated the man had his hands in his pocket and kept his head down. So that's consistent with what she testified. She didn't get a look at his face, but believed he was a white male. As the girls left, they crossed the Freedom Bridge and the railroad bridge over old SR 25. So this is the Blue Bridge, right? This is the old, I think it's not blue anymore, but that's right by. So there's two bridges. One that goes over old SR 25, and then the Freedom Bridge goes over Hoosier Highland, which is also, I think, SR 25. I could be wrong. Okay. Blair is seen. So this is where I'm talking about with Betsy Blair, right? Blair is seen on video at Hoosier Harvest on 300 North, traveling eastbound to the trailhead to park at 13:46:20 actual time. Blair saw the girls walking above as she went under the railroad bridge. On September 21st, 2022, Detective Liggett was provided a tip narrative from Orion, DINC, 74, number 74 to review. Excuse me. It was from DNR Lieutenant Dan Doolin. The narrative was as follows. So I think we all kind of know what that says. I can speed through this. Mr. Allen was on the trail between 13:30 and 15:30. He parked at the old Farm Bureau building and walked to the new Freedom Bridge. Okay, so this is what I've always had a problem with. If you're parking, let's just pretend the old Farm Bureau building is the CPS building, right? Let's just pretend here. Why would you be walking to the new Freedom Bridge? Right? To me, why isn't it the trailhead or to the trails? Like, because you're not crossing it, right? If you're parking at the CPS building. Okay, so while at the Freedom Bridge, he saw 3 females. He noted one was taller and had brown or black hair. He did not remember description, nor did he speak with them. He walked from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge. He did not see anybody, although stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he walked. He stated there were vehicle parked at the High Bridge trailhead. However, did not pay attention to them. So this is what is so confusing too, and I honestly think this was built by design, right? So there's trailhead parking, which to me is, and tell me if I'm wrong here, please. Like that is the beginning of the trail. This is like where there's designated parking right now in between old, so SR 25, the old one, and the Hoosier Highland. It's not Highland, sorry, Highway. So then they also use this trailhead, not trail connector. So within the testimony, people are talking about the trailhead. And in my mind, that is not the trail connector. It's not the Mears lot. And it seems like they're using it interchangeably throughout all the testimonies. And I find that very confusing because I think it's very possible that Hicks may not have parked at the Mears lot. because she mentions going past a gate, and there's a gate by the CPS building. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so moving on. He did not take any photos or video. His cell phone did not list an IMEI, but did have the following, and then here's the MEID. So then here he says, follow-up question. Who were the three girls walking in the area of Freedom Bridge? So if this is supposed to be from 2017, right? What happened to this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a group of three girls there. Like, what did they say? I don't know. Or is that this? Confusing to me. All right. So, though the statement from Mr. Allen, he admits that on February 13, 2017, he parked his vehicle at the Old Farm Bureau building. Like, he did not say that. Anyhow, from 13:30 to 15:30 hours, and was on the trails at that, let me go to the next page, time. There is no Old Farm Bureau building. You know what? There is an Old Farm Bureau building, and that is like not downtown. I think it's by like another grocery store. I forgot the name of it. Right. Anywhere close to the trails or bridges. Detective Liggett believes he is referring to the Old Child Protective Service building. In 2017, Richard Allen owned a 2016 blah, blah, blah. This is all about the car. I'm not really focused on that at this time. Do you hear my dog howling, guys? Hold on, let me open the door. Come on, Max. All right, sorry about that. Come here. It's okay. All right. So then okay. All right. I'm checking in the chat. He's mad that I closed the door on him. Okay. Charles, you're not blocked. I see you. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the duck canvas. All right. I'm just gonna take care of it 1 second. Sorry. Okay. So the duck canvas and windbreaker, right? I don't know what's up with that, but that was mentioned, and the person that mentioned this did not testify. I do know when I was looking through the Discovery dump and the Brandon Woodhouse map, I guess you can call it, it seems like people believed at some point that David McCain, like they drew McCain somehow, or they twisted him into this timeline of the sketches. So could that have been David McCain? Right? Because I really think there was plenty of people there. And maybe that's why their, descriptions are so different. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. And then in the transcripts, which was really interesting, they point out when she says 2:15 and they have her draw this or like write this out on the map, they say so 2:15 is 2 minutes after 2:13, right? Hmm. I agree. Like his jacket did look like it was a windbreaker. It seemed to be shiny. Because like right, like usually windbreakers are I forgot what material that is, but they're also like water resistant to like nylon or something. Which bridge? Oh, you're talking to. Oh. So it's 40 minutes. That's what I like. We went back and forth about this. It doesn't look 40 minutes though. It doesn't. But I'm gonna deter to you because like let's even like look at this. So I don't know if you can see my mouse, but it seems to be like almost the same distance to the end of the high bridge. Yeah, I would say like 30, cut it down the middle. Yeah. And then of course, like this all depends what you're doing, right? When you're walking. You know how teenagers are. They like walk looking at their phone. Okay, so Fish, the dog walker, plays um in Voorhees' testimony. She says she's seen a dog walker um close to Freedom Bridge right before she sees. Here, let me pull it up. Maybe we can look at that. Pull that up. Because there was some confusion too, which I found interesting in the you know what? I can't pull it up because I had to unplug my actually I take that back. Let me go to my Google Earth thing because I think I have her testimony right in there. Okay, let's do this. Okay, here we go. I just need to find the tab. Oh, I have too many tabs open. I think it's this one. Okay. All right, so this is where she says, I was when I myself was walking towards Freedom Bridge or High Bridge. I'm sorry. So you saw a person walking a dog on your way to, and then she says High Bridge. And then she's asked, High Bridge? Yes. And then you saw somebody on your way back to the Freedom Bridge. Yes. Okay, now, what is that word? Now, was it unusual to see people or was it usually pretty quiet out at the trail? I don't know what you observed. I don't think there were often people. I would on nicer days. I would see people walking their dogs or jogging occasionally, but not super often. Did you recognize the person that was walking a dog? I did not. Did you recognize this person when you almost got to the Freedom Bridge? I did not. Did you have a particular time that you needed to be home that day? Yes, I had to be home at 2:30 because my sister was with me. Was there anybody noteworthy was there anything noteworthy about the person that you saw on your way out? I just remembered I that I waved at him and said hi, and he didn't say hi back, and he like kind of glared at me a little bit and didn't seem to be a happy person, right? Let's see. And then Douglas Rice, this is from, I think, Facebook or something. I think I covered this before. And actually, I think he's actually talking about Pearson now. But there is a mention of somebody seeing a dog. So he says, the final details I never openly shared before. They had walked down the 505 trail, not the 501, and on the way back out, not too long before they ran into BG, they crossed paths with a man with a black dog, not a woman. There's always been a rumor about a woman with a dog. And when a member of my Facebook group told Ali the next day he had seen a white truck parked near the Freedom Bridge, the deputy told him it had belonged to the man with the dog. Confirmation. So I think this is was it David Riley? So that man was not too far in front of BG, heading up towards the high bridge. I know the man's name, but he won't speak. I have been told, however, he saw the girls as well as BG, not together, however, but at different places on the trail. So that is the sighting of the man with the dog. So at first she says like Freedom Bridge, then she says High Bridge, and there is some follow up in that regard. It would be nice if we can ask the dude with the dog. Oh, let me check in chat. So Ronald from Deltona says Riley Park and Monon High Bridge are not close. I wish there was a scale on that map. I mean, we could actually look at it right now. How about that? Let me see if I could put it into 2017 mode here. All right. So this is Riley Park, right? This is not City Park. Let's see, where is it? It seemed to be, oh, here we go. City Park. I think this might be the basketball court. I don't know though. Somewhere around here. It's like in the middle of a subdivision. Oh, here it is. It's right here. See, like these two hoops. See if I can make it. Right here. Get rid of this. So from here, okay. Let's measure it. I don't know how accurate this thing is, but obviously I know it's not a straight shot, right? All right, come on. Let's just go from, oops, wrong way. So meters. 1,000, so like 1,100 meters. How many meters are, I'm trying to think. I'm not good at the metric system. How many feet is that? Or miles? You know what? I think I could actually change this. Oh, here we go. So 0.68 miles. I know it's not a straight shot, right? But let's see. Let's do. No. I would say what, like maybe 3/4 of a mile if you're going to like walk kind of down there and then go around. Yeah, like 3/4 of a mile. I know. I know that like I cannot run worth the shit. So I usually, I remember when I was in school, I would like run the mile like how people would walk it. Okay, so Rayleigh could not have been at the trail at 2:15 for the simple reason Betsy walked to Freedom Bridge and said she saw nobody else on the trail before she left. Right, so let's look at that. So at 2:15, that's where I have Betsy Blair exiting the trail. At 2:14, she was at the trail split. So at 2:10, she was at the Freedom Bridge. And these are all like, you know, approximations here. When did she go to the bathroom? Okay, so she didn't return back to the trail until like 1:46. And doesn't she go, I'm pretty sure like when she gets on the trail, she goes to the split, right? And then she goes to the Monon High Bridge. Then she goes back. And I think that's where she goes down the 505 and then comes back up and then goes to the Freedom Bridge. So I think she could have missed them based on this. I think it's possible. Right. So Fish says also, I think there's an interview where Kelsey said she thought Bree was there when she dropped off the girls. Yes, you're correct. I did see that. Hey, Frank Meister. Okay. HCC says they were leaving via the Freedom Bridge when they saw the man at 2:15. Yeah, and there's an exhibit. Let's see. Let me pull it up. This is her. This is the exhibit where this is where she circles that she had seen the man right in this area, and she writes 2:15. And I think there's one bench like right here, and then another bench somewhere around here, and then another bench like right here. But I'm not certain if there's another bench in between. I don't think there is. And the map that I have does not even indicate there's benches in 2017. So, but here's the thing, like if Rayleigh had to be home at 2:30, and I understand, I think she testified that Bree was on her way. Like, why does she have to walk with Bree? Do you know what I'm saying? Because it seems like it's cutting it close. I don't know where Rayleigh lives. She, in her testimony, she said something about, I guess they showed her a map, and I don't know what map they showed her because there's like no mention of it being an exhibit. But she mentioned something about like a gravel area. That's where I think her dad lived somewhere. So I don't know if it's this. I mean, there's a lot of like gravel areas. Think about it. About a 20-minute walk from the Monon High Bridge. Okay, so there is a bunch of benches. Thank you. I was trying to zoom in to this here, and I couldn't see any other benches. I think it's just like the trees or something. So yeah, she described the one by the Mears lot. I think it could be pinpointed, as you can see a roof in the background. Yeah, I was looking at that too. That doesn't seem like kind of far, though, to be the Mears. I need to go out there. I still want to find the tree that David McCain was taking pictures of. That's bothering me. Yeah, she mentioned the color of the roof she saw. 10 minutes if you're young, 45 minutes if you're old. Oh my goodness. Hi, Miranda. How are you doing? I was just asking about you the other day. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so they were at this bench, right? I know you can't see it very well in the 2017 image here. Okay. Oh, thanks, HCC. Let me look. All right, let me see if I can pull this up. Those are good pictures. Thank you. So yeah, going back to this, would Betsy have seen them? And what if the girls split up? Like, could that have been the witness girls that I call? Would that be them? I don't know. All right. But see, like what I'm saying, like even at the 4 girls level, like there's confusion It does appear that McClellan was like playing word games here with 3 girls, 4 girls, because he knew that Richard Allen said 3 girls. So he was trying, again, like square, what is it? I know this is my saying and I can't think of it right now. Square pegs and round holes. I can't pull up my Discord for some reason. I'll post these pictures after the live. Okay. So thank you so much for sending them. I just can't pull it up for some reason. Now I want to get back to my screen share. Weird. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Hey, Snay. Hello, everyone. Kind of lurking, waiting for Alvarez, the Crawford fight to start. You have to talk till 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if that's kind of dangerous. Right? So HCC says she testified a different story. I think they all did, right? It's just like with this, and then also Hicks, Shelby Hicks. I feel like that her testimony changed completely. Yeah, like why is it he believes it's that picture? Did he assume it or would you verify? People used to use the old CPS building parking lot, which is closed. There were multiple parking locations in 2017 as of now. Yeah, I mean, so like the old map that I found, I mean, I think it's still like the same map, shows this area as a 20, as a parking. And then it has this one, this area. So this is what it looked like in 2017. People were parking here also. And then now there's another parking right here. Am I in the 2017? Let me just check. I think it took me out of here when I went into presentation mode. And then also, so this looked really, really different before they did this road. Where it looks like so there was like, this is the CPS building, right? And then there was another building right here to the side of it. And then this area right here was like a barn. There was like 2 barn looking buildings and also a house. Might have been here. But at any rate, there was still like there was 2 buildings that existed at some point where Richard Allen, because he says he goes to the trail often, right? So he, if he always parked there, he may in his mind always think it's an old farm building. And then it came from farm building to Farm Bureau building. But it totally looks different. Actually, I want to find it real quick because it is. I'm so sorry. You have to hear my dog cry. Let's see. He's okay. I promise. He's just being a husky. That's what they do. He's fed. He can go in and out of the house whenever he wants to because he has like one of those collars around his neck where the dog door opens. He's just antsy right now. I think he misses my son because he's not home. All right, so parking. Poor thing. He's gonna have surgery in 2 days. He's fine. He just has like a mass. Okay, Max. Oh. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pull that up in a second. Let me just get through something. Oh, Ron Logan's in the house. Hey, Ron. I got 2 gooses outside driving my hound crazy. Oh, that's good news, Rick. They've already offered to drop the OWI because they know I was not high. Yeah, and even like, I don't want to get derailed here, but like in that live stream, Lee said like you weren't charged with driving under the influence. That's what she said at least. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, City Park is not Riley Park, but I think they went to City Park, didn't they? Did I say Riley Park by accident? If I did, I meant City Park. That's where the basketball girls went. See right here, City Park. Oh. Yeah, Ron Logan says Riley Park is down yonder from City Park. It's near town. Yeah, I think it was right there. I'm probably really behind. So Rayleigh is pronounced Riley. Okay, sorry about that. I was told it was pronounced like Ray, like Ray Lee. It ain't the mirrors in background. It's the house closer to freedom, from what I understand. Yeah, I was kind of looking at that too. But yeah, I need to pull up the Discord. How about this? Do you mind if I just take a couple minutes? Let me get my thumb drive. What is it called? My thumb. What is it? This thing plugged in and just like see what if my dog's okay. So I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. I had them all fed and everything. They're like toddlers. And it seems like whenever I'm doing something, they like need all the attention. Thank you, flash drive. Yes, thank you. All right. I'll be right All right, I'm back. All right. So this is the parking area. See how that there's these two old buildings here? So this is now the parking area, a designated parking area, right? So to the right is 2017. Let me move this. And then I did go back to 2012, right? But like, to me, it like really did a good job of doing the comparison, the 2012, the quality of that. So there's these two old buildings. They look like old farm buildings to me, and the house. So that's that. And then this is what HCC sent over. So there's the barn with the green roof. Banks Creek. I'll be a Hoosier Creek. And then the Mears Loft. So Freedom Bridge to here is a 15-minute walk. The High Bridge is another 5-minute walk. So there's a gate here, but there's also another gate that was by the CPS building at some point. Let me see if I can find that picture too. And it's important because like when they're talking about the trailhead in the transcript, the trailhead could be like the trail parking. I just feel like they were really confusing the trailhead, trail connector. I mean, like McCain said, it was what is it? The niche lot, Sherry's Lane. There's just a lot of different terminology, and yeah, they did like I think they had a visual up, but there was a white truck parked at some place, right? And then there's been, the rumors that these are just rumors. Pearson and Hicks with the white truck. And then there's a dog walker too. So there's just like a lot of different vehicles, and it just gets convoluted with all the, different terminology of the, the parking, in my opinion. What do you guys think? So I hope I'm not getting way too off track. I know this is like a lot of moving pieces, but it's important to really look at this 3 and 4 girls situation here. And get back to what that is true. If you hate your life, get a husky. Yeah. Oh. Oh, it's on Netflix, the fight? I know what you're saying, unindicted. You still put a cigarette out when your mom calls? I can never, like when I did smoke, I could never smoke in front of my dad. I could drink in front of him in my 20s, but like I just couldn't. It was just weird. Probably because I'm a daddy's girl. Let's see. Yes. So the trucking company formerly sat on the property where the new the new 25 is at. Yeah. So this was like, I try to look at the property records, and it was a trucking company for, I think it was for the Cobb. So I think it went to and from that mill over there. But it does kind of look like a farm building, doesn't it? Let me see if I can zoom in here on my screen. Let's go to the 2012 view. Here we go. Let me share my screen. Zooming in here. But see like how close it is to the CPS building? It's like a whole different look, right? And I think that's why Richard Allen was so confused, because he was talking about taking these loops and how the road used to be. I'm not sure what this building is right here. But now that the new SR25 is like right in the middle of this, it looks a lot further than really what it is. And here's that railroad bridge that Betsy Blair crossed over and seen the 4 girls, but there's really no, like, what were they doing? Like there's no like description, like what were they wearing? I didn't see any of that. But yeah, like this is where the trail used to start, right here. And it would just make so much sense to park at an old building, which there's several of them down here. Look at this one. Just to be accustomed to park on this side, or, when this was empty. So let's look at 2014. See, like they already started to put the bridge in. But see how it's like totally a different view? Or is it just me? And then this is like a new road too, I think, right here. And then this is where Brad Heath parked or seen that other vehicle. Look at, perfect example. There was a vehicle parked right here. But again, like if you're parking here at the CPS, right? I wouldn't describe me walking to the Freedom Bridge, because there's a way now to cut through to this path. I mean, I guess you could. I just, that wouldn't be my destination. I wouldn't be like, I walk to the Freedom Bridge. No, I walk to, what is this, like some type of memorial right here now? See if I could find a picture of the gate that I was talking about. It's somewhere here. And I keep on bringing up the gate because Shelby Hicks mentions the gate. And I know there's a gate in front of the mirrors as well. Let me see, is it in here? I think this is the gate. Somewhere around here. Because when Shelby Hicks testifies, she says that she walked to, like they went to the Freedom Bridge area first. So it's just really confusing. I don't know why McClellan kept on referring to parking areas as, differently. But yeah, I don't see any other benches either. So. What else? Let's see. Does anyone want to join? I can put a link in here and have a discussion about this, because I do know that there's a lot of people that have looked into this whole 3-4 girl thing. But again, just like to bring it back here, Anna was not interviewed from what I've seen. And Isabella totally describes, I think both of these girls describe Bridge Guy to be wearing way, like different clothing, and neither one of these girls testified. I'm just curious why the defense didn't call them. And I don't know if they even knew about the basketball girls either, because I don't see anything in the discovery dumps, that McClellan attached to one of his filings or responses with any of these girls' names in here. Like, Richard Allen or whoever, like they could have arrived around 12 and just lurked out and watched until, they found their, victims, right? Like maybe these girls didn't fit their profile. I don't know. It's hard to like think of a crazy, like a crazy person. So Skinny says, with so many people there, it's simply not possible for this crime to have taken place there and then. It's crazy how many people were here. Oh, Georgia beat Tennessee in overtime. Rick says, Peanut always barks at the TV when I watch boxing. It's like she's saying, you guys, hey, you guys, break it up. That's funny. I have a dog, my female husky. She watches football. I think she's just like chasing the ball with her eyes. It's kind of funny. Ron Logan. Eli say the baby Yoda is like cross between Alaskan Thunder and Purple People Eater. It's a 70-30 sativa dominant hybrid strain. That sounds like some good kush. Yeah, they just need to legalize this. This is crazy. Especially with Indiana being so close to Illinois, right? I mean, people could just literally go, right at the border and, smoke and come back. And if it's in your system for 30 days, like you technically didn't commit a crime, like just smoking it. You were not even in that state. There's a lot more worse things to worry about. It's like Indiana's behind 100 years, I swear. Bye, Rick. Have a nice night. Yeah, no, you're right, Ronald. Like nobody knows the exact amount of people, right? Just like going back to even like these, at least two of the four girls, they both recall seeing other people at the trail. And then Cheyenne Mill says that she's seen some kids. I believe it was Cheyenne. It was either Cheyenne or Shelby Duncan. See some kids in the background. And they're like, what, 3:00, 2:30? There's still kids there. I just like envision it to be like a big hangout, probably some teenagers like drinking under the bridge. I mean, that's kind of like what I was doing when I was a teenager. It's just like, what else do you do in Delphi? doesn't seem like a lot of parents knew about this area very well either. Like if you go back and listen to some of the news reporting when they were interviewing different, members of the community, they didn't know about this area very well. I'm going to put that link in there. I didn't forget. Rick, you should stop by Logan's house. He has some bush, warm bush. Right? Man, like weed now is so strong. It's like if you go to the dispensary, it's like picking out like you have like so many options. I kind of miss the excitement of like what are you going to get? Like what is, your guy going to bring by or your girl going to bring by? Like the luck of the draw type of thing. Now it's like a menu. And it's so much stronger in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. So there's the link if anyone wants to come on up. I think I got through the affidavit of the search warrant. The probable cause. I don't know if anyone has a copy of this that's unredacted. But there's a lot of mention of, 3 juveniles in here. And it's hard to really run that comparison with these, with the redacted, like who said kind of creepy. Yeah, if we go back to the affidavit that's mentioned, but then apparently there was like some type of discussion between the girls about the creepy guy. I just keep on going back to the 215. I really think it makes sense when you're looking at it from a timeline perspective. She knew she had to be home at 2:30. She says she gets at, it's not like it was just a mistake where she really meant 1:15, right? Because she then also says she got to Brienne's house at 2:20. And something that Bitter Beat Poet always said is that the fact that Brienne and Rayleigh went back to Brienne's house is far more important than anything else. Like he felt like somebody wasn't telling the truth or they were leaving out information, and Kelsey was there. So I just find that interesting too. Because if I'm cutting it that close to being back at 2:30, I wouldn't stop at somebody's house. I'm trying to think, like the girls were, so she had, I don't know her living situation at the time, but like she has 2 sisters at a similar age. I'm just thinking here, like, could they have split up and one said, you know what, I'm leaving to go home by myself? Because like 12, 13 in, a small town, I don't see that to be, in the middle of the day. that concerning. I mean, knowing what we know now, it's concerning, right? But like, it was just like a normal day for everyone until the tragedy happened. I don't know. Let's look at this again. So there was a bench here. Yes, this is the 505 bench, right? Or no? Hmm. But I think it could be. Yeah, I need to know where all these benches are. It's hard to see. I'm going to go there. Does anyone have any special requests, like what you would like to see when I take a trip out there? Because I'm not that far. I'm about 3 hours away. So if there's, I want to find the David McCain tree that's by an old fence. Not sure if it's still there, but like it's an oak tree, and oak trees live forever. So I'm thinking the oak tree will be there. I don't know about the fence. I do know somebody had a video of the 505, and in their walk, they literally say this tree is odd. It sticks out. Like, wow, that's an interesting looking tree. So I wonder if it was on the 505, because we know David McCain said he went down the 505. Warm beer at Ron's. Yes, I will stop by Ron's house too and go see the armadillos. So in summary, I'm sure like probably everyone's more confused than ever, and I'm sorry that wasn't my objective here, because it's like I said, like there's two groups of threes, and then there's a group of four, but only two testified, and Brianne only mentions three. So even in the group of four, there's confusion there. And then we have a bunch of kids uncounted for. So could have been anyone. I guess that's really what I'm saying here. And Riley or Brianne, and Anna and Isabel could have recounted different people, because there was other men there too. We know at least the dog walker, right? So could, Isabel be describing the dog walker? Could Riley be getting the dog walker and bridge guy mixed up? Don't know. But they're just, the descriptions are all over the board, in my opinion. Be careful the trees. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be tied to a tree. That would not be fun. I would probably need to, I'll be going with somebody else and my crazy dog, because he's huge. Oh. Anyone have any other questions? Thank you for everyone for stopping by. I think I'm going to wrap this up. Trigasms. Sounds like a whole different genre. Skinny. Oh, you guys crack me up. This is a really good chat. This really was. No problem. Again, I hope I didn't confuse everyone even more. But there's definitely, some gray areas. And it's just like, I think it's like, again, it's like square pegs in a round hole or round hole. So more confused. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Rick, enjoy the fight. Ron Logan, I'm on my way for some Bush Light. Just make sure it's warm. Enjoy the football games. And you know what? Go Bears. Hopefully they won't disappoint me like they do like every game. Bye.
You think you got me figured out, reading comments like they count. Drama feeds your empty soul. Truth ain't part of your life goals. All your screenshots and your claims, playing victim in your games. Why you always stirring up the top though? Get it out when people call you close. You hide your victory to your energy, but nobody's buying what you're selling me. Fake it till you don't. Fake it till you don't. Fake it till you don't. Can't keep up the fraud forever. Fake it till you don't. Posting receipts that don't add up. Manufactured drama cup, overflowing with your lies. Time to cut you down to size. All your stories fall